Hi, this is Marisilin Bijosilin. So, today I am going to present a presentation regarding a gaming application fully developed for my course module software enterprises. So, in this application is fully developed with an MERN-stack application. This is kind of a mathematical gaming application. So, without any delay, let's move to the demo. So, this is the video I have put for kind of attraction for my game, like a real game. So you can skip this intro by clicking this one. So Banana Brain Quest is my game. So in my game, I have separated as two main things. First one is a solo game, and another one is multiplayer game. So first one, let's go with the solo game. So if you want to play any games, we have to first login 72@com. So let's log in so you can see the three levels for solo gamer. So in here I have already played, so that's why it's showing the scores. So we can select easy, medium, hard. For the easy level, you can see there's no timer and you have 5 lives. And another one is medium. So there's 30 seconds per person and it's have only 5 lives. So another one is very hardest one. So 10 seconds, 3 lives. So let's play this medium level. Side, you can see the profile and the world. You have 6 cherries. It's kind of power up. And you can play like kind of six, I think. So if you got correct answer, you get some 10 score. And next one you can see we have 5 lives I mentioned, right? So you can enter wrong answer, it's checking and it's reduce one drain. This how the games can be as same as hard, as same as the medium, as same as easy. Wants to play any multiplayer games. So you can the display can be shows like this. So you can create a match or join a match. So I have opened two tabs. This one is hosted link. This one is localhost. So he can create a match. How many seconds asking and it's creating a code. So you can join a match by entering the same code. So now you can see two different puzzles. The timing are going. So another one first it is me. This is another one. So here you can entering the correct answer. This is one. So you can get the correct points. So he can entering the wrong points. So it's telling us wrong. So another one 6 plus 2. So he's the correct answer. He got 20 points and he got 0 points. And 4, 5. So he got 10 points. Likewise, we can play. He is lose and he got win. This is how the multiplayer will works, and you can see the histories in the multiplayer. So the VS battles we won here. So in the history, multiplayer battles, you can see you lost. This is how the multiplayer games are working. So for explaining my architecture, my code, I divide these presentations into four main parts. The first one is that virtual identity, version control, event-driven programming, and the final one is interoperability. So based on that first one, I will choose like that version control. Before moving to the version control, you can see I have divided this four project as a two main structure. First one is the backend and the front end. So this is for easiness and can maintain the scalability through the projects. So in the backend, you can see the controllers for business logics and the middleware for authentications and model for the schemas, goods for the API endpoints. As same as for the front end, you can see some of the pages and component wise I separated for the front end. That's it for the folder structures. And next one is this version control. For the version control, you can see I can show these branches I have separated because for every features I have separated as a separate branches. So you can see the bug fix I one branch authentication, banana API integration one part, history, timer, UI, everything is separated as a every each of separate branches. And you can see the Git log. So you can see the branches of branches and the recent commit messages you can see here. And the main one here is the version control in the VS code you can see. And next I will show this in the browser. Right? This is my repository. I named this as a project folder. So this is the about section, and this is the readme file you can see. And I have the hosted link. So the front end is hosted in Netlify and the back end is in version. So this is the project architecture, structure, project structure, and the features I mentioned. These are readme file, and you can see the 11 branches I have created to for each features I have separated as a branches. Next one, you can see the commit messages I have entered for each separate. So these are the commit messages I have worked with. So making this as a separate branches in the features and the commit messages for separate meaningful commit message I have mentioned. So it helps me to manage the whole project in a good manner. And another way, when I push the code to the GitHub, you can see it automatically deploy to the front end to Vercel and front end to the Netlify and back end to the Vercel. So you can see the success message from deployment completed. And here you can see I have mentioned the 30 deployment I have made. You can see. So this is how I use the GitHub in version control. And this helped me to make the project scalable and working in more features. So here is the code base how I use the event-driven programming. So here you can see the const, the handle submit function. You can see when user entering the correct answer, it will show as the correct as an output. It's triggering this event. And when it's a wrong answer, it's checking with the code and it says like wrong answer. So it's how the event-driven program I are using this handle submit button. Another one is the best example is timer countdown. Here you can see when how the timer is working, and here's the timeout function I have wrote. So another one you can see is in this backend code, the socket.js. So here, Socket.js is kind of I have implemented the multiplayer game. So you can see when two players are connected, so it sends updates to another user. So it's interconnected. So it triggers another event. So here also the event-driven program how I works in this way. And so in existing joining in the room also another example for event-driven programming. So the interoperability means when systems talking to each other, this known as interoperability. So in my application, how I use this interoperability means you can see in the game controller. So here you can see there's a get puzzle function. So here I called the banana API URL. So this banana API URL in the env file. So in the env file you can see how I use this banana API. So in here you can see getting if the connection is connected, so it can be shows like AP banana API keys. If it's not connected, it's like AP banana API error. So I uh, handle this error corrections here. And another one you can see I have used another some other external APIs like for avatars. So making when a user join, he can choose an avatar for. So that's I use this Icebreaker API for choosing avatars. And another one I choose for the music context, music API. So it's some in my application there's a background music. So I use this kind of API for the background music. And another final one is the database. So database also kind of best example for interoperability because it's also another system of database. It's another system of my project. So they're connecting with each other with the API. So this is the best example for interoperability. So the final one is virtual identity. So when every users came to our game application, they have separate identity. So we protect the identity by giving their username and the passwords and avatars. So when they can register here and when they register, their passwords are stored as bicrypt. So after that they going to login. In here you can see the authentication controller. You can see that login. So they will get an JWT secret key. That secret key is in the env file that automatically generated. That's JSON web token. So by this web token, when a user logged in, he got the token. After that, the middleware checks he is the legitimate user or not. So he has a checking process going on. So how here that virtual identities I implemented in my application. So thank you for watching and thank you.